Motherfucker. I have a 2020 Colorado ZR2 and I'm going to show you how to change the oil. So the tools you'll need is a ratchet, a 3-inch extension, a 24mm socket, and then for the drain plug, it's a 15mm. You're also gonna need a place to put your oil. I like to get these little ramps up here. You can fit underneath this, but if you're a big boy like me, it's a little bit easier to use these. Okay, so once you crawl under here, we have a drain plug right here. Ooh, that's hot. So we got our drain plug right here. We got our carpet down. My exhaust is right next to my face and it's really hot. I probably should have just not let it run, but here we are. I'm gonna try to do without touching my exhaust. So the engine block and everything is all aluminum. So you really don't want to torque this down very much, but what I need to do is get a different drain plug, and this is hotter than shit. I might let that cool off for a little bit. I'll see you guys in a second. Should have came in from the other angle, but I think if I get it right, I just be a man. Holy shit, that's hot. It's like 110 degrees in this garage here. We are in Vegas. Sometimes I wish I had gloves, you know that. Sometimes I do wonder if I should run like 5W40 because it is like 110 degrees here in Vegas and this oil might as well be water at this point. But let me know in the comments if you guys do that. Motherfucker. It's not what I wanted to happen. Sprayed out like I owed it money. Should have came in from the other side. I don't know why I did that because I've done this 50 times. So, word to the wise, if you're changing your oil, make sure you have the pan up to the top. So it doesn't spray out everywhere. So I have heard some guys run 5W40 when it gets really warm. Because I mean, the oil is basically just, it's like water. Especially because it's so hot here. But also, when you are doing it, make sure it's not boiling hot and have that pan up a little bit closer because that will spray out. So I'm going to show you guys where the oil filter is. And mine looks a little bit different because I do have an aftermarket intake and the shroud for the intake manifold is not there anymore, and I'll get to that later. But so you have your fuse box, you have your cables and everything, so it's on your right side. Your oil fill is right here, and right down in here, see that little spot right down there? I'll put a little arrow pointing to it. So you gotta finagle your arm clear down in there when it's really hot, and that is going to be a 24mm. So like I said, you need to get a good extension. I was making a joke about how this was 3 inches. You know, it's probably about a foot or so. And it gives you enough room. So if I can get down in here and get on that. This is about 12 inches or so of extension. So it's clear down in there. And if you got a big arm, you break it loose a little bit. And so once you get that broke loose, you got to finagle your arm clear down in there when it's really warm and get the old oil filter out. What I would highly recommend with this top mounted oil filters is make sure the oil is completely drained out or else it's going to spill over oil and everything. Make sure it gets up to running temperature also, because if not, you're going to be like me, like last time, and it's going to spill everywhere. So don't do that. Just wait till it drains out completely. And then you should be able to get your arm down in there and then pull that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my arm down in there, pull that cap off, and hopefully not burn the shit out of myself. All right, do this as much as I can. There's not a lot of room for me to show you guys really. It's not, you don't wanna get it very tight either. I know it's kind of jumping everywhere, but this block is aluminum. So if you get that really tight, and this cap is also plastic, and you will strip that out and you will have a bad day. You can get your arm in there. Oh, slowly. They don't make it a whole lot of room. There you go, get your little baby oil filter. Oh, here we got on our workbench here. This is what the oil filter looks like. So if you do go on Google and try to find what you need, it says it's a metal can, a canister type. It says it's these. It's a big pain in the ass. So what I run, because it's easy, because I only change my oil like every 5,000 miles or so. It's before the recommendation from like the manual. So I run STP S10246. That's the one I can usually find at my AutoZone. And like I said, I just change it out every 5,000 miles. The truck will say like 30% oil life and everything, but I just hit about 5,000 just because what I like to do, get down in here, I clean off the threads on the cap as well. And there's a little O-ring that comes with your oil filter.
So you got a new one right here, just in case the old one, it's probably still good, but I mean, if you get a new one, you might as well just change it out. If you got a little screwdriver, or I got these little picks I got from Harbor Freight, and it just kind of, you reach down in there and you can kind of pull that old one up, toss it, and package your new one. Super simple, super easy. And it's not like a normal like canister for an oil filter where you gotta, you know, lube up that O-ring on it or anything, because this just seals onto there. But it seats just down in there. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. It's inside the oil filter. Pretty simple, I mean, straightforward. And so you have this end and you have this end. So this end is going to go inside the cap here, and it'll just snap in just like that. Super easy, super simple. And then we get to shove our arm back down in there. But before that, I'm going to show you the inside of what that looks like. Okay, so down inside there, let's see if I can give you guys the best angle. So you have a little plastic thing right here, and you want to make sure that's still intact there and all the oil is drained out. Everything looks pretty good. It's right next to the exhaust manifold. So that is a pain in the ass. Get this camera set up again, and you're gonna see how hard it is for me to get my damn arm down in there again. So you have a lot of little vacuum lines and all these other accessory lines right through there. And you want to make sure you line up that little plastic piece. I'm not sure, oh, god damn. This little metal flashlight I got absorbed a bunch of heat sitting on the intake manifold and burned the shit out of my arm. So I like to get it down in there, get it hand tight, and then I'll get it tightened down. I'm not sure the exact pounds, but I get it to where it's not going to be moving. I'm sure there's a proper, you know, how many foot-pounds or inch-pounds or whatever. The biggest thing is you don't want to strip that out. I get it to where it's pretty snug, like I said. But like I said, don't crank it down super hard. It's aluminum and it's plastic. Make sure you got a log extension, and then you can burn the shit out of your arm getting in there. The next step is to put the oil plug back in and fill it full of oil, but I cannot find my oil plug, and I think it might have fell down the oil catch. So give me a second, I'm gonna find where that is, and then we'll go over that. All right, this is not going exactly as planned, so I'm pretty sure I dropped it in here when it started shooting out. Oh, that's where it is. Yeah, it's in here. There we go. That thing is hotter than shit. Ow! Good thing I got a spatula. So now that's going to be a shop spatula or a garage spatula. I'm not going to cook with that anymore. But I got the oil plug, so I can put this oil down without spilling it and putting it everywhere. So what you got here, your plug, I need to get a different plug, but what I noticed too is before I own this truck, I could hold this with this because this is hotter than shit, is so your oil pan is aluminum and there's all these little burrs. Like these guys been cranking down on this oil plug. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? So with these oil plugs, you have a little crush washer and you have an O-ring on there. And a lot of the time is that O-ring will get messed up in that crush washer. And so I bought a bag of these. So this is what they look like. I got them from Amazon. I just looked up Chevy Colorado 3.6 liter. The camera quality with this is not the best, but you see how there's like a little indent and it's flat. I guess it has an indent on both sides. And then you also have a bag of these copper crush washers. And that's what it's gonna look like, because they recommend having a crush washer and a little rubber gasket. What I did notice also is when I torqued it down to spec last time, it was leaking a little bit. And that could have been me, or it could have been a little gasket thing here. But and be careful not to stab yourself with the little tool you're using. That did not feel very good. God damn it. You know, for this being the first time recording ever working on a vehicle, it's going terrible. So finally got that piece of shit off. It kind of fused itself together and kind of overlapped, and that's what the big pain in the ass was. So this is what it's gonna look like with that little rubber gasket there, and we'll get a crush washer. So that's what it's gonna look like there. That way it'll compress against there and it'll completely seal off. So I'm gonna put the oil plug back in. It's important to clean that surface off there. I'm sure you guys like the look of me because you can't really see shit. But it's important to clean the surface off there because it is just a flat little thing. And you know, one thing I wish these engineers did is had the drain plug going straight down, but you have on the ZR2s and maybe on the normal Colorados, I have a skid plate right here. But it would have been a little bit better instead of having it shoot out clear over here and then spraying oil everywhere. Motherfucker. So what did happen to me before, when I torqued that down before, it was still leaking, and I drove all the way to Idaho and I was down about a half a quart. So that was not good. So what I would recommend, torquing that down, getting it tight, driving it, getting up to temperature, and then checking it again to see if it's leaking. Second to last step is to fill this thing full of oil. So I got Mobile One, make sure it says Dexos because on your oil cap, it also says Dexos 5W30. I was gonna get Pennzoil today. They did have some in stock. And I heard Pennzoil is actually pretty good oil, but they didn't have what I needed. They didn't have the Dexos. So maybe next time I'll just order some ahead of time. And just like with every oil change, I would recommend using a funnel because you don't want to spill oil all over your engine bay. And this little thing has a little screen on it, so I can't fill it up. It's not going to flow completely freely, but it's a little bit faster than when I had the nozzle on there. So I'm going to get this all filled up. You need 6 quarts of 5W30 Dexos. We got all the oil filled up in there. You can check our dipstick, but I know I got 6 quarts in there. I'm going to check the oil plug, make sure it's not leaking or anything real quick. We'll do startup. I'll get this off the ramps, and then we'll check our oil level. My God. All right, startup was good. Everything is good to go on there. Okay, future Slater here. So if you want to press right on your button there, we're going to go down to the oil life, click on reset. Yes, there we go. I forgot to do that in the video and it's like 8:30. So like the video, subscribe. And now I got to clean up this goddamn mess. So hopefully your guys' oil change went a little bit better than mine and you didn't get oil all over your garage and have to clean it all up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to learn how to change your CV axle, click on this video right now. Love you guys so much.